Hey guys, welcome back to Season 3, Episode 3, Sunday Seascapes. We knocked it out of the park with this soft little seascape. No big crashing wave, nice and easy, gorgeous sunset sky, beautiful clouds. You guys are obviously excited about painting it. That's why you clicked on the link. So check the description down below. Find all the colors you need. Make sure you get your canvas nice and wet. Get ready to throw some paint on it. We're going to do it just like this. All right, welcome back. Now, we've covered our canvas in Artist Loft Level 1 white acrylic gesso, and we allowed that to dry. And then we took our Bob Ross liquid white oil paint and covered the canvas with a very thin layer. You can even tell if we touch it, you can see all the little dimples of the canvas right into my glove. Or if you're painting without gloves, you'll be able to see your fingerprint, all the little ridges inside your fingerprint. That's how you know you have enough of it on there. Now, we're going to paint a fantastic little ocean scene today with a couple palm trees and a sunset. It's going to be fantastic. So let's see. We have a cad yellow, bright red, dark Van Dyke brown, which is the darker color of the two browns. Then we have phthalo green, Prussian blue, which is the darker color of the blues, alizarin crimson, midnight black, and titanium white. Now, let's do the old thing where we talk when no one's listening and do all that nonsense. What are we doing? What are we doing? That is exactly what I don't need on the brush. So, okay, so let's go right through our cad yellow. We're going to make this beautiful sunset. Why don't we take the smallest little bit of the red? We're going to mix it in there. Look at how much. I took this, the smallest little piece of red, and it turned it this orangey color. Man, you do not need a whole lot of red. Look at that. I'm still having to drag yellow in there to get it the light color that I want it to. So we're going to load this up with color, a lot of thick paint on the brush, and then we're going to come up in here and decide where we want our little sunset-y piece to be. Maybe it's like right down here on the water. Who knows? Take an old nasty cup, hold it against the canvas, and then just smush on a bit of that kind of orangey yellowish color that we made. And poof, we have this gorgeous little sun in the sky, just like that, like we were all 6 years old, right? Throw a little sun out there. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of that guy, pull him back, and also pull him in, just like a clock. Start at 12. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 7, 8. Now we're at 9 o'clock. 10, 11. Back to 12. Now we have this gorgeous little bit of white, dead white circle right in the center. And that's going to be our sun. We're going to try to retain that little white piece right there. Now, we're going to kind of spread that out just a little bit. We're going to come in with the next color. Let's wash it off of this fan brush, though, because we're probably going to end up using it later. Using it later for our palm trees, right? Now, you've all seen how I add the color to the brush. Now, you've all seen how we wash the brush. We showed that did a couple videos ago, and then I have this short, and I've got TikToks about it, and reels, and all sorts of stuff. So, don't worry about that. If you don't know how to wash your brush, it's very easily findable. Now, let's go back in here. We're going to grab up another little bit of red, just the smallest little bit, right? And put it down here. Grab up some of that orange, and just mix it in with this red, so it's not super red right off the bat, right? Let's just mix these colors together. Bam, 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 bam. Now, it's going to be a little bit darker color than our initial yellow. That's what we need it to be. We need it to be a little bit darker, but not too much darker. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's going to be such a bright color orange. Woo! It's going to be fantastic. You want to leave a little buffer in between. Not too big, but a little buffer in between. And you always want to pull in from our edge out here inward, and that way it'll blend nicely into there. It's almost like we're making a little sunflower or something. That same color back on the brush over here. Now look, it's getting too much of the same. We don't want that to happen, so we got to get some more red in there. Get some more red, let it blend out. Now let's go a little bit of red and a little bit of crimson. And the crimson is going to make it very dark. Look at that. Oh yeah. Gorgeous. Gorgeous bit of crimson in there. I don't know why we're using the 1-inch brush versus the 2-inch brush. It just seemed right for this size canvas. A little bit more red, a little bit of crimson. Just so it blends nicely, right? Like that, little dabs, pull in from the top corner, cover our sides with that same crimson-y red. Now, it makes it easier if you prep your sides with Bob Ross Liquid White. It does. It makes it a lot easier to do, and it goes a lot faster, but sometimes we forget. So if you prep the sides and the top the same way with the same thin layer that we prepped our canvas with, it will go a lot smoother when it comes time to finish it and cover the sides, right? Now we need to add a different color up here. Now let's go into our Prussian blue, right in with our crimson. We're gonna mix these two together right here and make this gorgeous purpley color. Oh, look at that. That is a color right there. Again, pulling it in from the sides, leaving that little buffer so we have something to play with, right? Take the top, we're gonna cover the top up here. Gonna cover the edge, you gotta cover the edge, go on the other camera, switch to this camera, but there you go. Gonna cover the sides, right? There we go. And we have this gorgeous kind of purpley, grayish color. Oh yeah, change up our color of our land, our beach, our water, whatever it's going to be, we're going to end up changing it, right? A little bit of red in here with that yellow. Just let it mix together. Bop, bop, bop. We'll be all set. Now we need to take our 2-inch brush, better for blending, right? We're going to start in the center, make our little white circle very soft, and then continue outwards. And then we're going to start, once we can start to grab it and not really affect that center area, then we're going to grab it and mix it all together. Look at that. Start dragging some of the orange into the yellow, some of the yellow out into the orange. Stay away from any dark colors in this point right here. Dark color is going to be your enemy. Really take that yellow and spread it out, leaving that little white circle. Even if it's gotten smaller or it's just a little half, just as long as it's super bright right there. That's what we want. Start taking some of that darker color, working that stuff in, blending it together, making sure that it's really difficult to see where each color kind of starts and stops. Right, maybe on this side it came down a little bit further. Just like that. Blend out all of our reds and everything before we go into that darker color. That's what you want to do. You don't want to have anything from over here bleed into the center. That's what we're going to do with our clouds. Again, taking it, working it, it's way down. Less pressure, less pressure, less pressure as we get to the center. And all of a sudden we've got this super bright center casting out all this gorgeous light. Now, you can wash your brush off, right into the thinner, into the can, into the bucket. Very simply and easily done. Now we're going to take all that darkness and work its all, because it really wants to grow, this dark color. It's going to work its way all the way back into the center. So we got to decide where we're going to want things, right? Start to pull it. Look, oh, it's reaching. It's reaching. The further we pull it, the further it's going to blend itself away. So decide, maybe there's a big giant cloud that lives over here that's trying to come across and try to cover our sun. Far little thing, way off in the distance, right? Don't even mess with it yet. Just drop some color in there. All we got to do. Blend some of that color together. We'll have this gorgeous little piece of something happening way off there. We can imagine this is our horizon line. Just make it nice and straight like that. Come back here, blend these guys together. Leaving this area very pink though. I want to have this just like that, this pinkish color. It's going to bounce off of our sand, so I don't want to lose too much of that anyway. Just like that, got this beautiful little thing. Now with that kind of grayish color that we have, we can work in all sorts of little clouds, different shapes, blend them out, make them softer. I don't want to cover over our cloud, our sun obviously, but we have to have some sort of dramatic sky, because that's what Josh likes to paint. Love painting these dramatic skies where you don't really know what's happening. Leave little areas like that where it's poking through. Or areas like this over here. Or maybe blend these guys in together, but leave some of that pink in there as well. All right, we're trying to make it where we don't want any bits of hard line to come into this. So any hard areas, we're trying to blend out very soft. And just like that, we got a pretty cool looking sky. These far off clouds in the distance. Maybe there was one down here. Tried to cut in front of our sun like that. Again, just very lightly, so we're not kind of blending it all together and making it all the same. Now it's almost like the clouds are like crisscrossing over the sun. It looks pretty cool. Little vortex action. They get bigger, right? All right. Let's see if we can get this soft back here. Then we can decide where we want our horizon to be. It could drop even further down. which might be better off if it was a bit further down. Now I want to do some crazy clouds over here. But before we do that, why don't we take a little bit of white, not a whole lot, just a little bit right here on the brush. Kind of just put it with these guys. There we go. We're not trying to cover the whole shadow, but we do have to have a little bit of white back here because I don't like it being so dark. It's gonna be nice and pretty. Ooh, look at that. Just the top half. We left this whole section that kind of shadowy purpley color. Again, just the top half, leaving this whole section dark underneath. See how they play off of each other? Bam, 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 bam. See what I mean? You have to take that into account when you're trying to create a gorgeous sky, because Mother Nature, she is the best artist you will ever see. Why don't we do something like this? Trying to do it like we do on a black canvas, right? This far away thing. But this one's going to be very soft and light because there's no shadow to blend it with except for itself, right? The only shadows that we have are the colors that are underneath, so we can't let them all disappear and become part of that same color. And then you get these very soft little floater clouds way off in the distance back there. You make them as soft as you want. You can literally blend them until they disappear, and it will become a whole different color up here in the sky. But look at that, a very deep color red. A very deep red into a lighter, into much brighter, kind of hidden behind the clouds. That's what you want to try to do. Hide stuff. It's all about hiding stuff when we paint with Josh. Like, what were you doing? I definitely wasn't painting with Josh. No. Right? Let's see. Now, again, I want to do something over here. So let's switch brushes. We're going to go to like a little, it's a big micro fan brush, but it's a small little brush, small little tip. It's just kind of spread out very thick. And I want to try, right? We always got to try stuff. If you don't try, how can you ever learn? How can I teach you guys new things if I'm not trying new things myself? So let's get this brush all nice and nasty. I'm going to treat it like a filbert brush. But first we're going to pick where our horizon is. Maybe our horizon's right down here. And I want these clouds to come up out of the horizon. So depending on where we start, depends on where we're going to finish, really. All right, we're going to make these cumulus nimbus clouds that are all trippy and crazy like that. Okay, we're going to bring it down. We're going to very lightly drag it down. Very lightly, so we can add another layer, right? We have to go from dark down to very light, and then we can come back with another dark layer. So before we do that, let's take another little brush. This one is, we're going to try to keep white anyway. And we're going to pipe in a couple little bits, but I want to save that dark edge, right? We're saving that edge. Let's just twist and twirl the brush until it starts to kind of drop off, leaving a thick area that we can blend. See that nice thick chunk? It's even casting its own little shadow. Thick little areas that we can go back in and blend, right? Maybe there's another one here. Or another one over there. That one's actually not that thick. There we go. Drop some more paint on it. You can see the difference. Now, let's come back in with our brush and just so lightly start to mix these guys in. But you do it too many times or too much pressure, and they're going to start to look like all the same cloud, right? Take this guy again. Very soft. Mix it up. And that way you've got a little bit of shadow, you've got a little bit of cloud back in there. And then what might look kind of cool is if we take a liner brush and really work in like some shadowy areas back inside this cloud. Just by adding just a little bit of darkness on the cloud, a little bit of liner. You get a little crimson, little blue in this case. Maybe there's a whole nother section that comes in down here. Right? Really take our time on the clouds this time. Let's see if we can just very lightly blend those guys. Do they stay? Not really. Not really, but that's okay. We tried, and it really didn't work out. We don't want to over blend it, so this one is turning out so soft that I don't really want to have any hard ones anyway. But we're going to go back to that same brush, that kind of dark brush. A little bit of black this time. Throw it in with our crimson and blue. I love mixing those three colors. You guys know me. Now we're going to come in up to into a lighter area. We want to be nice and thick and dark though. Right? Maybe this guy comes down here. It's just huge, gigantic cloud. Big old monster, right? We got to give him some life though. He's got to have little bits, little things, little pieces of character. So it makes him cool. So it makes him different from all the other little clouds. We're going to mix him up just like that. Letting those colors kind of grow together and mix and blend and become part with the background. Very, very cool. Now remember, we're going to try to keep this little bit of dark line to separate those two when we come back with our next bit of clouds. I'm going to use a palette knife. And I like using a palette knife because you can sort of have a random amount of paint dropped on the canvas at once. Right? Then when you come back and you start to blend, you're going to get areas that are thicker with white, so they're not going to blend as easily. You're going to get thinner areas, which are going to blend more easily. You're going to get thicker areas, which will be harder to blend, but they'll be a very, very, very cool thing. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the same. There's no designated shape for a cloud. It doesn't really matter what it looks like or what you put up there, as long as it looks like some water vapor, right? There is no specified shape. So don't worry about it. Let's see, we need to come in with a much darker bit of shadow now, because I want these guys to stay dark as they come down in here. Right, we'll even do it with a palette knife, almost like it's a mountain. Drop it out over there. We really don't want to go blue out here. We want that crimson and the black mixture for sure when we go out to the side. That way it'll change, right? You can have blue and all sorts of different things in there if you wanted when you're over your purple section, your dark color section, right? Not when you're over your brightest area. That's not when you want. Look at that. Nice and easy. Look, skipping sections, leaving lighter areas and darker areas. Leaving it dark on the edge and let it grow. It can grow. It doesn't have to stay right where we put it, right? It's just a guide. Just a guide telling us, hey, let's put this guy out here. Look at that, just trailing off, way off in the distance. There's a lot of paint on the canvas too, so we got to be careful. Now down here is going to be water, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to make it soft to where we can have, you know, a bit. That is very neat right there. You can take some more of that darker color and add in a couple little areas of shadow up in the top guys. Right, you can always go back in and just change it just slightly, just so you have a difference. It almost looks like an open mouth of like a creature or something. Now we take the 2-inch brush and you swipe up from the bottom. Right, over here it's still very thick. Swipe over from the side, and that's why we're going to take this guy and just swipe him off like that. Very cool. Like there's a little bit of something. It's a road to the gods or something like that. There we go. I like that. You got to come up with little stories when you're painting, right? Man, leave those little things. These things look cool. Now, look at how dark it is. We created underneath our cloud, and maybe the back of it is back there, way off in the distance back there. And we can do all sorts of things on the inside. Make it dark, give it some red, give it some blue, little highlights, little shadows, little different things. And then we can come in, ooh, look at this. Again, trying not to make it all the same either. I don't want it to be all the same. Gotta have those different colors. That's what people are gonna look for. They're gonna look for these differences. Maybe we light this up with some lightning. Comes down. That's cool. And that's the joy of painting. When you start to see things and you go, ooh, wouldn't it be neat if I did this or if I did that? Like we can take this guy and have him just rain off in the distance, very softly coming down, but not the full length of the cloud and not the full distance either, right? If you ever seen rain off in the distance, it's pretty localized. At least where I live, it's pretty localized in the desert over one area of land. So you don't have to cover the whole thing. It doesn't all have to be the same. We need to switch to our last clean brush to try to clean up some of these little areas right around the top up there that were just, they were like little straight lines, had one little string of paint that was just too much. So let's clean these brushes off, and then we're going to come back and we're going to get back at it, and it's going to be fantastic with that. We're going to add some, now let's do it right now. Add a little bit of shadow in there. What if we added just a little bit of darkness inside the mouth of this creature? It almost looks like there's an opening up there. To me, anyway. At least it did before we started messing with it. And that looks great. A little bit of darkness, a little bit of light. It can't all be the same, remember? So make it slightly different and soft, very soft. You can let it blend in with that stuff back there. That doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter. And if you don't like an area where your clouds are and your colors of your sky meet, you can take and either put a cloud over it or put a chemtrail over it, or a contrail for all the conspiracy theorists. Right? Try to make it straight though. You don't want to have a whole lot of paint, and try to make it straight off in the distance, just like that. Yeah, get this cool little thing. Or we can do something. Let's try those clouds that Roberta sent us a photo of. It was like crazy looking, like little dips and all sorts of things. Let's see. All right, just giving it some life, some depth to it. We take our fan brush. See if we can't create like some little cloud dips up there. Something a little different you don't see every day. She sent me some photos of this storm that was really cool. That's not bad. I don't really like how it comes together over here. We're gonna have to change this area. All right, a little bit of crimson-y. Kind of just bring the bottom of that guy down. And now it'll make a little bit more sense. Don't really want those two connecting, so we're gonna make like those never had touched. And just like that, that is a pretty cool little sky. Very cool little sky. Reminds me of summer. Reminds me of summer. Oof, let me throw some white over the top of this. It's getting to be where it's like, if there was some clouds right here, man, would they be bright and fluffy on the top. Now we're gonna take just very lightly again, just not trying to cover that shadow. Don't try to cover it. You don't need to. And they don't all have to be the same. Some can cut down in front. Ooh, look at that. Cut down in front of our shadow. Just change it up. Very cool. This guy over here, he became part of that cloud. They're all connected. All connected. Poof, just work at it until you like the way that it looks, right? Drop some rain out of that guy. It's going to make some sense onto our water. That looks really cool. What if we had a little bit of brightness over the top of that blue color right there? Just so it changed it up. Just changed it a bit. And what's neat is this a cloud or is it sky? No one knows. No one knows. Especially if we blend it, add a little bit more darkness in there. Bring it in towards our cloud. There we go. That's a cool looking little sky. We even have some darkness up in here, inside this little guy. I thought it might have been too bright up here to kind of include any dark areas, but it's clearly calling for some darkness up there. There we go. That's what it's about. Kind of taking the darkness, putting it in the back or on the bottom, or in this instance on the top, since our sun is down underneath. And the dark area would be on the top. So, all about how you play with it, right? And that's the fun part. You can do whatever you want to do. Let's make these guys a little bit brighter. You do what you want to do, someone else is going to do what they want to do, and theirs is going to look different from yours, and yours is going to be awesome, and theirs is going to be awesome, and everyone's going to be great. Let's take a little bit of that. Just work that white area down. Try not to overwork it because I don't want it to get too light, too much of the same color. Right? But then again, you don't want it to be too thick either. So you got to kind of go over it, not let them touch too much. And then take our 2-inch brush, flatten them down. Flatten down any bit of texture in that cloud. You don't want any texture there. Man, that is a cool looking sky. If we're playing with light and stuff, the back side of this guy, in my mind, would be a little bit darker. So, let's give him some cloud, just like that. Like there's a back piece to it. Maybe a little bit of darkness underneath. And just mix, right? We're using such small amounts of paint that it's really going to be hard to kind of tell if you overdid it or underdid it. So don't worry about it. Let it fly and have a good time. That's what we're here for. We are here to have a good time. And right now, I am having a grand old time. Let's take a little bit of white, put it down in there. It might not even use it, right? We may not use it, but we may look cool. Just the smallest bit, almost like the cloud's kind of encircling itself. We can kind of see back into here. Maybe we still have a lightning bolt come out. I don't know, it's possible. It's a possibility. Okay, let's take some time. We're gonna wash the brushes and then we'll be back. And I promise I won't do anything without you. Okay, we're back from washing the brushes, and I just feel like it's just not dark enough up in here. So let's get a little bit of our three colors, our crimson, our blue, our black, in different areas. All right, we'll just work this guy up here like he's just not gonna play with the rest. Again, I don't ever have them like being them on straight lines, so kind of work at it. But we don't want to lose all these beautiful colors either, right? Oh, just like that. Now watch this. Against that lighter color, what if we did this? Just kind of blasted some paint up here, right? Just like that. A little bit of white underneath. And all it does is breaks up that dark from the light without having a dead straight line in there. Blend it down, blend it up. All of a sudden we get this beautiful little piece. What's where, right? What's being hit by what? What's connected to what? Is this connected to that? Is it separate from itself? Are these two connected? They're very cool. Probably one of the best sunset skies we've ever done, that's for sure. This though, I don't really like the rain idea, so let's take this part out. It looks better as a soft little thing anyway. There we go. Now we're gonna very slightly, let's see, take a little bit, I don't wanna use this brush. Let's wash this 1-inch brush off. Let's get our dark colored fan brush out. We're gonna go through, let's make up some kind of dark color ocean with our black, crimson, and blue. So we have that little bit of our purpley water. We're gonna try not to cover everything up. That's gonna be the goal. Don't cover everything. And where do we start our water is the question. Let's start it off down here. Maybe just to see what color the paint looks like. It all got on the mall stick instead of the canvas. Look at that. What a clown. Let's see what color the paint looks like, and we'll do this. All right, but again, we don't want to cover everything. So let's start to work in a little bit of darkness, leaving little areas of light, and those are going to be our our little reflective areas, right? Maybe this side's a lot of light. It just goes off very softly over here. And who knows? Who knows what we're going to do? We may not use that area. We may use it completely. Who knows what we're going to do? Now we're going to take and just soften that back line. Make it the rest as the other. And look at this angle that we're working on right here. This is the angle that we're trying to achieve. And switch back to that yellowy, reddish, orangey color. And just every so often, let's just drop in a little piece like that. It's just getting hit in different areas, right? A little bit of orangey back in here as we lead up to our little bit of wave. Maybe off in the distance we had that orange color, but again, not covering the entire thing. I want to leave little differences, little things, little different things. And not doing everything all the same. Never want to do it all the same. Man, that's such a cool little cloud back there. If we add some more darkness and even just mix it in. This is just be my little thing that'll be different from everyone else's. Poof, just like that. Very cool, like a little tunnel into the clouds. I like it a lot. A little bit of darkness underneath. Just making it soft, right? Gives them a further away look, these guys anyway, just from doing that. Having that little bit of soft, dark line under them to make them flat off in the distance. And this guy, we can just work him out. Just like that. And if it goes too far, go in circles, kind of shrink it back. That's gorgeous. Now that can use a little bit of a storm way off, right? Just 3 little pulls. That's it. Take our brush, pull them down, not all the way, but we're bringing them down to the water, as straight as we can get them anyway. Soft, soft, soft. Far off little rainstorm. Somebody's going to see it. Someone will see it back there. And they go, I see what that guy did. Like, we'll tap him like this. Use the bigger brush to kind of flatten him out. There we go. Very cool. Very neat. Again, just trying different things. That's all I do, guys. I try different stuff so I can show you what works and what doesn't for me. And then you got to figure out what works and what doesn't work for you. And a lot of my techniques will work for you. And you'll have a grand old time painting. It'll be fantastic. Okay, let's take these guys and mix them up just slightly, just to make it soft. Again, we don't need it to be crazy. It doesn't have to be this, super bright color or all the same. We don't want it to be all the same. And maybe we mix the back in so far that it almost looks like it blends in. We need some color. Gotta have some color back there. We just haven't put enough on. There we go. Soft little bit of our ocean. And then we can work it until it's straight enough anyway. Poof. Straight enough, stays dark. You can get your maul stick out and do it again, but I don't want to do that. That looks good to me right there. That looks good to me. And whatever we don't like, you can literally take and blend it until it blends in with all those other colors in the background. If you got an area that's being a little troublemaker, right? You're like, oh, you little troublemaker. You blend it out until it doesn't exist anymore. Just like that. Far off little things. Very cool little things. Boom. I like that. That's neat. Now I want to put a little bit more darkness because of the shadow of this cloud. Just in this one spot back here. Just so it's a little darker underneath that cloud. Maybe the darkness comes out because he's a tall old cloud, right? It's a big old cloud. The darkness got to come out further than that. There we go. I like that. Got a little bit of the light on the top. We could use a little bit of light back on our horizon before it hits this other cloud, right? Providing its shadow way back there. We could use a little bit of that. All I did was take the cad yellow and the titanium white and mix them together and rub it until we got our little bit of color back there. And take a little bit of that yellow and put it up on our sky. Why not? Right? You can literally paint with any brush. You don't have to paint with the 1-inch brush or the 2-inch brush or this brush or that brush. You can paint with anything. Literally anything. we could do a whole painting with just a couple brushes. So it does make a difference, and it does make it easier when you do have the correct things, but it's not a requirement. That is 100% for sure. Not a requirement to have the same stuff that we have, that I have. There we go. You can still do it. It's just easier when you're using the proper stuff. That I will say. That's fantastic. I wanted to put some big ass palm trees right here, but I don't think I want to do it anymore. They look so good. Look at this. If we had some of this white and yellow, and that's literally our water coming up to the beach. So we can pull this back. Man, and that's our water coming up to our ocean. That's fantastic. Fantastic. A little bit of that yellowy color. Different areas, like it might have hit way back in the distance. Very cool. Very cool. Now, for some reason, I can't get the thing down back here, so why don't we just put a couple little mountains? Just by using our fan brush, just far off little hills, till it comes back and meets up with our horizon back there, right? And then, no one can go, the water's supposed to be straight, right? I don't know if you guys get those guys. I get those guys all the time. I get those guys all the time. I go, it is straight. It's straight enough. All right, let's see. I'm pulling our little mountains down in different directions because we want them to have, little bits of highlight and shadow on themselves. And you can't just do that just by putting them up there with a fan brush. So you got to work at it a little bit. Give it a little look. Give it a little ridge. They love when you give them little ridges. Love the ridges. We can take these and even work it out all the way out to the edge out there. Very cool. Almost like the water goes around this guy out to the side. Oh, it's just screaming for a volcano. But then it would cover up all this beautiful cloud that we did. I don't want to do that. All right, let's see if we can't use a smidgen, just the littlest bit of our phthalo green color, right? And I want to see what that's going to look like sort of mixed in with the surf inside with this yellow. It should look pretty cool, right? Pull that back, saving some of that yellow color. And now we'll have these little differences in our water, and that green maybe end up becoming our water and reflections and everything else. Needs to get darker over here, so add more color as you go away from your light. It needs to get darker, right? Maybe this guy comes out with its green line over there, and we have our little beach, sandy area, and all of our little our algae. Could be algae, could be anything. You just want to be messy though. That's the key. Like you gotta have a little bit of mess in there, so it's different. So it's a little thicker. So it's a little thinner in areas. So it's not all the same planned out thing. You want it, because that's not nature. Nature's not a planned out thing. You want it to be nice and soft, right? Have to have it be soft. Well, maybe our beach comes in from this side. And we get this walkway that comes in, goes off over here. That makes a lot of sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense. That is very cool. All right, let's take a little bit of our dark color, our crimson, blue, and black, and we're going to come back in here and just leave a very small little line of where our shore is off in the distance back there. Now, you have to use a very, very, very small amount of paint, otherwise it's going to grow very far. All right, we don't want it to grow super far. And it doesn't have to be the straightest line, but you sort of want it to match what your mountain looks like. We're going to have all this water rushing into our bay down here, so we got to have it look correct. We can even stretch our mountain even further. Very cool. It's like Mauna Loa, Long Mountain. Right there. Very neat looking, very neat. I love these colors right here, these phthalo greens and blues. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Let's take a little bit of white, and let's decide there's a little sunlight there, maybe a little sunlight there, and then we'll have a nice white area inside of our sand as well for our sun. Our cute little sun, our boy. There we go. we're going to try to retain those as we go. So let's add in, we need our dark fan brush, because we're going to come in a little bit of blue, a little bit of crimson. Doesn't have to be super purple. We're going to start making some foam on this little section of waves, right? So let's say maybe off here, this is just our little shadow line underneath where our water is kind of going out of, right? We got the next one that goes down in there. You can see how we made the line slightly off. It's not a straight line, it's almost, but it's not round either. You know what I mean? Little differences, little things, little bits of foam, and that's our one wave coming in. That's very cool. Now we're going to lightly take that guy and slide him back. All right. Just very lightly though, because it's not a huge crashing wave. It's just a couple little guys. Just some little guys. Take these guys over here. Just let it go off to the side. Very cool. Very soft. I like it where you can't even really tell where the end of a painting is a lot of the times. It's very cool. Alright, these guys are going to go over them once or twice just to make them soft. We don't need it to be crazy. Remember, we're trying to save our light areas in here like little steps. Okay, now we need to come back to that guy. And we got to make him look like water. So let's get a little bit of liquid white right in here to our white and yellow area that we've been working in. Just on the one side of the brush. Let's come back here, just very lightly, every so often, on the top, not trying to cover over that whole bit of darkness, right? We have to save that little dark area. Just a little bit, little things happening, all at different times on this wave. As they crash over and pull back, churn and suck. There we go. Very softly, so softly pulling back. Like I don't even want to really mess them up too much. Right? And we're going to take them, because this guy's our one off in the distance. So all we're really looking for is a little bit of brightness back there, a little bit of water movement. Kind of pulling back at that same angle as it's coming in, right? Just like that. That is a gorgeous thing right there. Okay, now we need to take our next bit. It's mainly going to be liquid white on our brush. A little bit of our white paint. Same kind of mixture right in here. Just the littlest bit though, mainly liquid white. We're going to come in and just make our water line. If it'll come off the dang knife. Make our water line in like this. Just kind of dropping it in, shoving it back, letting it live wherever it wants to be. It's going to be a crazy little bit of water line in there. Right, maybe there's a bit of it out here, or here, or here. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter where it is. And we only do that to show you that it does not matter what you do. You can do whatever you want to do, and it's going to look very cool. Okay, now just so lightly, because it's going to want to disappear, right? We're going to pull it down just very lightly, very lightly. Right, working it, not trying to overdo it, not trying to push too hard, so light. And then we're going to pull it to the side, and that makes our wet, sandy beach. Look at that. You get this wet little section. Now you can work with that wet section and decide what you want to do with it, right? All that wet, sandy area. We got our little dark line of our next little wave coming back in. Maybe this guy comes out here. Right? They don't all have to connect the same way. That's for sure. That is for sure. Again, we're taking it and we're pulling it almost straight sideways. I have a little bit more something to pull in here. All right, pulling it straight back from wherever its edge is, leading it back to that next little section of open wave. Just a little bit of blue and crimson over on this side. Now we're going to come back in, rub up our white and our liquid white together, because you want it to be runny. That's the key, having it be runny. Right? And if it's runny, it will run off of your knife in different places, and it'll look really cool. And have them come up and connect in different spots. Or continue on and not connect at all, because we know it's never just one little piece of foam that's being sucked back into our water, right? It's multiple things, a giant mess of foamy nonsense it's being sucked back into the oncoming waves. So that's what we're going to do. Just like that. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to have something there as our water is crashing up against our shore. And off in the distance, what do? We leave it very light so we can give the illusion that it's continuing on back there. Very softly pulling it back. And we got a little bit of our soft bit of water right here. This guy's coming back, he's crashing. Right, coming down and crashing onto the shore. Maybe this guy is not so much crash yet. A little bit straighter of a line, right? As we pull him off. He hasn't come in yet. Or it starts to pop in over here. Little different things at different times. Coming out in different ways. You know what I mean? It doesn't all have to be the same. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. It does not have to be the same little bit. There we go. And I like having a little bit of texture to my little section of waves because it just helps. It helps make it more realistic. I'm going to take a little bit of that bluish color. We're going to pull out from underneath. And that is going to act as the shadow for our little oceany wave action that's our little waves are crashing onto. Very cool. Take a little bit more of that blue, just under where our water is. Let it mix in around the bottom. Because again, the waves are never crashing all at the same time. You never know when they're going to hit. There we go. Beautiful little thing. And then you can go back in and play and dance and mess around and play with your foam and splash and see how you like it when it does this and that and all the rest. Very cool. It's a whole lot of fun. And I suggest you do it, but be careful because you can do it one too many times and then it's just not going to look right. Especially where we have areas where the wave is supposedly crashing out onto the beach. We got to have a little bit of darker color in there. A little line of shadows. Just very soft little things though, very messy, right? It's a very messy, little impressionistic. There we go. Just telling a story. Telling a story. There we go. A little bit of white, just as that wave is getting sucked back there. Again, just making it messy along the edge where we want our water to be. Because again, it's never going to be perfect. It's not going to be how you saw it. You know, nature is not a design thing. It's a very random thing. So, paint a random thing. That's how I like to do it. All right, maybe we come out from here. Get that little bit of water line to come off. There we go. Just little things. Soft little things. Fantastic. Okay, let's get that dark brown color out that we had. And maybe we had that little bit, right? We can work our wet sand back from our dry sand. Get that little bit of darkness. It's going to blend in with all these colors. Right? Blend in over there. So we can't really tell where. Oh, yeah. And just like that, we got our own little piece of land right over here. Who wants to come to the beach? Come to the beach, baby. I want the sand to be dark, like it's been wet. It's been soaked. The tide's out. And just like that, we got a very cool little painting. I have a little bit more liquid white. And a chunky little bit of liquid white. That's nasty. Just to see if we can't get a little bit more of that sheen. And if it goes into your brown, it's okay. Just blend it out. Nice little soft little thing. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. There we go. Make sure our poles are horizontal, so everything's going back in the same direction. Blend out any little nonsense areas that we have over here that we don't like. And just like that, that's a fantastic little painting in a short amount of time. We'll come in, make our little family, and then we'll skedaddle up on out of your screen, and so you can watch another video, right? There we go, got the fam. And since we got a dark bottom down here, let's do the signature in white down around the bottom. Just like that, guys. This will be the final Sunday Seascapes on tape that anyone will ever see, ever. Look at that. Gotta have a little bit of that differences in color, right? A little darkness. A little bit deeper, darker shadows in there. Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, this will be the last Sunday Seascapes on film. We'll be doing it live next weekend. Are you excited? We're going to be doing it live? Oh my goodness, who knows how to do a Seascape live anymore? Not this old guy. Not this old guy. Okay. Let's take that. I got those. Bam, bam, bam. A little bit of crashing water. We'll make sure our angles are correct. Got that nice soft little bit of sand. It's beautiful. Fantastic. The only thing is, I think, there we go. We had a little bit more wet. A little bit more wetness in there. Where we got some splash going in different directions, right? All bouncing around. It's not just one little thingy going on. There we go. But now, of course, we got to come back in with that darkness. Because you cannot have light without having dark. It's just what it is. It is what it is. There we go. Very bright over here on the side. And very wet. But very cool. Makes it seem like those are further away. Splashes on these guys up here are much closer. Even can we fit any amount of oh, we can get some shadow to stick into those. Those look very cool. That's very neat. That's just changed the whole thing to bring everything down here as our new little section of water. All right. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yeah, perfect. Perfection. That is all we want. We want to just have the illusion that water is getting softer and softer and softer as it goes over there. Bigger, thicker, nastier water lines as it comes over to us. Very cool. All right, let's wash these brushes, and we'll do the outro, and then we'll do the intro, and then we'll do the rest of it. All right, of course, I always see something at the very end, and then we have to go back and adjust and fix, but for the most part, this one's done, and we'll see what it looks like when you guys do it. Hopefully it turns out the same. And hopefully you had fun while you're watching this one, at least. Let's see. So, as always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, for checking it out, for sharing, for liking, for sending the stars, for sending the comments, for sending everything you guys do, all the gifts that you guys send. Like this necklace was a gift. I've got little pins from gifts, clocks, all sorts of stuff. We love it, and I'll never turn it down. I love you guys forever, and thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. I love all the subscribers. I love all the members who pay for the channel on Facebook and on YouTube. I love both of you. I wish I would do more. I just don't have the time in the day to physically do any more of anything. I wish I did. I wish I had the time. My goodness. Can you imagine all of me painting more? Ugh. Like Josh paints too much. Now he's talking about painting more. Get out of town. There we go. A little bit. Oh man, that looks cool. Always something in the bloopers that Josh has got to get into because it looks neat. Always. That is cool. Just make these dark ones very straight, same as the other one. Look at those differences in color. Why didn't I do this to begin with? See? Learning new things, teaching you guys new things. That's all it's about. It's literally all it's about. And trying to do it quickly so you can have fun, right? Don't want to hold you up here for 6 hours trying to do a painting video. That's ridiculous. Let's take this guy and just make him just soft so we can't really tell if it continues on or maybe it's like fog over there. Fog's rolling in, babies, rolling in. There we go. Just gotta change it up slightly. Okay. This will be the last time we wash our brush. Seriously. Okay, let's do it. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, for checking it out, for sending all the love and all the stars. Share it, help me reach the entire world. And until we see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And bow! Boom! Get him out of here. Whoop, almost fell. Hello. Hi guys, welcome back. Hey guys, who good?
Hey guys, hi guys, welcome back to Being with Josh. Today we're going to do a nice little soft seascape with a beautiful little sunset. And
did I have the fan running during the whole thing? Oh my goodness. I hope the doesn't annoy you too bad and you can paint this painting. Stupid. Let's do it. Hey guys, alright. Hey guys, what's up guys? Why? This is not time for hey guys. Here we go. Hi guys, welcome back to Baywatch. Hi guys. You look like this. Oh. Hey guys, welcome back to the 1000th take, trying to nail the intro on this painting. This door. 1001. Here we come. Colorado, Rocky Mountain High. Gonna get so high I can't see through my eyes. And then I'll do some dumb shit because I got high on Rocky Mountain High in Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, I'm an asshole. Rocky Mountain High, I'm an asshole. Oh man, I know I'm gonna have to use that. Rocky Mountain High. Now, what we can't do is leave. Hello, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we will do a 16 by 20 inch canvas in a nice sunset theme. It's going to be fantastic. I do hope you enjoy. Good night. Hey guys, welcome back. Hey, is there any other thing I should do? Hi guys.
Oh, hey dudes, how's it going? It's Paint with Josh. Blah 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 blah.
Man, I am literally insane. I'm going crazy. Did Bob go crazy before he died? Because maybe I'm there. Alright. Hi, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did a 16 by 20 inch gorgeous sunset seascape. It's fantastic. You know what I did? Hey guys, welcome back to season 3. Hey guys, what the? Hi guys, hey. Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, whoa. Are we too close? Is that the problem? I feel like we're too close. Let's back up a little bit. Maybe that'll solve my camera issues, my volume issues. Hey guys, welcome back to Paint with Josh. Today we did a 16 by 20 inch gorgeous sunrise seascape for episode 3.